Okay, so hey guys, and today we're back with the MCU movie review, and this time it is Avengers: Age of Ultron, which was the sequel to the first Avengers film and also a very great film itself, but also not so great to make over $1 billion. Anyways, let's begin. Okay, so now let's begin the review by talking about Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Okay, so Quicksilver is of course nothing special since he's just a worse version of Flash, but I did like his personality. Now I have not seen the X-Men movie, so this movie was my first introduction to Quicksilver, and they introduced Quicksilver and his powers to us very well. I really liked his little battle with Hawkeye of who can outsmart each other first, and now Scarlet Witch is the one I like more because she is of course having more screen time and also has better powers, which are not a direct rip-off of the powers of other characters. I really liked that red glow in her hand which appeared whenever she used her powers. I wish some red glow emitted out of her entire body when she used the powers because that would look really cool and would make her character even cooler. I think she's also one of the most powerful Avengers out there, probably out there just after Thor and Captain Marvel. Okay, so now let's talk about Ultron, who caused so much trouble for the Avengers. Like, he of course caused trouble in this movie, and also what he did in this movie was one of the reasons the Avengers got divided in Civil War, which made it easier for Thanos to obtain the stones which wiped out half of the universe. Like, this robot is crazy. His design is way better in the comics though, and I must say that the idea of all the Ultrons merging to form into one giant Ultron, which was scrapped later on, was a way better idea to be honest. Like, a giant Ultron would be so cool. Also, I hated how he sometimes made jokes and worked as a comic relief. I thought he was supposed to be menacing and terrifying, but instead he's one of those average MCU villains who makes jokes. Ultron is just a better version of Steppenwolf in my opinion. Like, just so generic. Also, he has access to every electrical system here, right? So, why doesn't he make a better plan to destroy the world rather than throwing a giant city into the world? I mean, he's supposed to be a perfect robot, right? How couldn't he find a better way to finish the earth rather than applying such a stupid plan? Anyways, overall, this villain was just okay, but a huge disappointment. Okay, so now let's talk about Hulk versus Hulkbuster. So when Scarlet Witch gives Bruce Banner nightmares, he somehow gets angry instead of getting scared and freaks out and turns into the Hulk. And so Iron Man has to stop him. So he goes and puts on the Hulkbuster armor and takes on the Hulk all by himself. I like this fight overall and I really loved the go to sleep moment. But I really find it surprising how everybody got upset over buildings getting destroyed because of Superman fighting Zod and Man of Steel, but nobody getting upset over buildings and probably lives getting destroyed because of this fight. Like, that's really weird. Okay, so now let's talk about the final scene. Ultron has activated the vibranium and Sokovia has actually started flying, and this movie has now turned into a full-on robot apocalypse movie. So the Avengers fight Ultron and try to defeat as many of the Ultrons as they can, with Vision now helping them while also making sure no citizen of the flying city gets harmed. Okay, so this third act really tries to copy the third act of the first movie, but it just doesn't have such good action scenes like the first one, and also doesn't have those beautiful one take shots. So, yeah, this third act can never be as good as the third act of the first Avengers movie. I liked the battle overall, and also Quicksilver's death was pretty sad. Like, not really that emotional, but still sad. Like, it came out of nowhere, so it's not really that emotional. I would consider this more of a heroic scene rather than an emotional one. However, the next scene did give me chills when Scarlet Witch just ripped Ultron's heart out by telling him that's how it felt after her brother Quicksilver died. Really nice moment and my favorite moment of this movie. Really underrated scene, to be honest. Rating 8 out of 10. Best moment, Scarlet Witch kills Ultron. So yeah guys, that was it for today. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and of course subscribe and say goodbye.